Again, this is one of literally hundreds of examples of the helicopter following me all over everywhere I went. And the thing is, these helicopters, for one, these are heavily populated areas. These are malls and stores. And the helicopters were below, according to the FCC, you're not supposed to be within 500 feet of anywhere that there's people or animals. These are heavily populated malls and the central hub of town, and businesses and buildings and people, hundreds of people walking around and shopping and doing everything. And these helicopters were about 50 feet from the ground, following me around and nosing around, trying to harass me or trying to bully me, and landing on the buildings while they wait for me to come out of one building from the next, and etc. Sometimes they would fly around in a circle, but I would take my own sweet time about doing what I want to do. So they would literally land on the rooftops of these buildings, which were not designed to hold the weight of a helicopter or to have anything land on them, not to mention how many FCC violations and FAA violations. FCC because they were using radio waves and cloned copies of my SIM and my phones to track me. FAA because, according to the Federal Aviation, you can't be within 500 feet of civilians or animals, livestock, any kind of animals, populated areas. And yet, I've got tons of proof that, especially the blonde haired one, I've seen his face several times. He even was being so cocky. So it's got to be nepotism. He's got to be somebody's kid who's not a kid anymore. He's in his, I'd say, in his 30s. But leaned out and smiled at me when he damn near landed in the parking lot of one place that I was at. This is like all a big game. Just like stealing government secrets and putting them out in the open and putting everybody in danger is a big game. Just like them hacking the cell towers here locally and using the information that they're stealing from people's personal accounts, including cryptocurrency and bank account information and all this. They're a bunch of freaking little criminals. This isn't military. This is a crime ring. And they need to be dealt with severely. This is a national security breach. And folks out here so worried about covering their asses and their reputations and all this nepotism bullshit. You need to look at the bigger picture, because that same crap that happened with that kid stealing all that data information just to prove to his friends that he could do it is the same stupid mentality of these young men. Not only are jeopardizing everybody's safety with what they're doing, there's a reason why those laws were put into effect where they weren't supposed to be within a certain distance of livestock and humans, not to mention all the toxins from their jet fuels and the fuels that they use in their different apparatuses. It doesn't matter. Those laws were there for a reason, and they think they're above and beyond the law. But they're supposed to be upholding it. They're supposed to be representing us in combat. No, these young men are a disgrace to every branch of the U.S. military, and they need to be held accountable for the crap that they've been pulling. This mess has been going on for 5 years, and it's been being reported. State and federal authorities, and they're taking their own sweet time about doing something about it. You see this mess? There's no excuse for it. There's no excusing it.